Hey everyone. In today's video, what we're trying to cover is how do you remove stuck caliper pistons when you cannot split the caliper. So this caliper is from an R1200C. The seals that go in between the two caliper halves cannot be found, unobtainium. So I can't split the caliper and I need to pop stuck pistons out. I've already done this one, but you can kind of see the problem. That's the piston. When you have two pistons coming out from either side, you don't have any room. So by the time you pop this piston out, you don't even have enough space to grab the bottom piston. So I struggled with this one for about an hour. And eventually I came up with a method that worked, which I was able to apply to this one. And I got this one unstuck in about 10 minutes. I reassembled this one for this demo. But let's take a look. The things that you would need: a compressor. We would need, if you've taken off the bleeder screw, you'll have to add that back on. You need a small pick. Come to this in a second. Some kind of clamp. I'm using a bar clamp here. And you can either use brake fluid as a lubricant, or I love this stuff, Silk Glide, for lubricating the caliper pistons. We'll come to that in a second. So in addition to that, you want to use a shim, some kind of a wooden shim, or you can take one of the old brake pads. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go and try to pop these pistons out. Now, before you start pushing air in there, just know that you don't want to get dirt in. So let's maybe take a small piece of tissue, shop cloth in this case. And let's put this on. I'm going to hold the caliper, the brake pad from the other side. Ballpark where it is. If you have fine control, you probably don't need to use a regulator or adjust the pressure. You're not trying to blow too much. So, okay. So I can see one piston's coming out, the others are still kind of seized, even though I've done this before. Let's pump it a little more. There we go. So you can kind of see the problem. Let the compressor cycle off. There we go. So you can kind of see the problem. It's extremely hard to pull the pistons out because they are in opposition. So what I'm going to do is pull this one off. Let's just pick one. Pick one that opened the least. Let's see, maybe that would be this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this guy back down like that. Let's apply a bar clamp. So again, I'm not clamping the one that was stuck. I'm clamping the one that was kind of free. Okay, it's nice and clamped. All right, let's pump some more compressed air in there and see what happens. Okay, let's take a look. The piston's nearly out. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to force air in there and pop the piston out completely. That's my tissue. All right. Watch your fingers when you do this. There we go. So that's one piston out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish out the caliper seal that's in there. That's where the pick's going to be used. So you can kind of see where this video is going now. What we're going to make possible is by removing the seal, you make it possible for the piston to slide out more easily. So let's take this piston, take some shop cloth, you're going to clean it. You're going to clean inside the bore as best you can. I'm going to take some Silk Glide. Lubricate the bore. Don't need a lot. Lubricate the piston. And this is where you're going to push it back in. For those of you who've done this before, you might already realize why we're doing this, why we're pushing it back in. Unless you have something blocking the port inside here, you won't be able to force the other pistons out. But now the process becomes a little repetitive. So let's see what that looks like. So now clamp the one that you just popped out. Let's get some compressed air. Let's pop the other one out. There we go. Let's pop the other piston out. Come on, stuck a little. There we go. It's out. Let's get that seal out from in there. In my case, I don't plan on reusing these seals, but if you do plan on reusing them for any reason, you might want to be more careful than I was. Clean. Let's clean inside the bore. So take a little bit of silk glide. Lubricate the bore. Lubricate the other piston. Let's put this back in. Nice and smooth, right? I'm gonna put this pad back in between over here. Pump some more air. Let's work on the next one. See how that goes. Okay. Now, I'm going to push one down. Let's push this one down. This one seems to be free. Or kind of. Let's apply the same process on the other one. Pump. Make sure none of this tissue is going in. That's fine. Pop. Okay. It's coming out. A little bit more. I'm going to skip the tissue now. Just go directly. There we go. Piston's almost out. Piston's out. Let's get that seal out. There we go. Another seal out, and stick some fresh shop cloth. It's clean in there. Not too much. Clean the piston. Just put a little more silk glide. Push it back in. So again, the only reason we're putting these back in is because we have to maintain pressure in the system to get the other pistons out. And we're down to the last one, so we don't have to do much more of this. So, helps if you get it nice and straight, which I'm not doing a good job of right now. Maybe I put too much silk glide on my fingers. All right, let's see. There we go. In. We've got the last one, so let's clamp this. Should have used the other side of the clamp. All right, try this again. There we go. Let's pop this one out. Anyways, I need to remove the seal, so I might as well remove it, but I'm not putting that piston back in. Okay, what I'm about to do next, if you are able to do this carefully, you can do it. Otherwise, you can reseat the piston back. But the port is right down there. I'm just going to block it. And I'm going to use the tiniest amount of air so I don't hurt myself, because that piston is going to come out really fast if you really slam on the air. Tiny, see? That's it. See? If you're not able to do that, that's okay. Just plug it again. Now that the seal's out and you've lubricated it, just shake. And that's out. That's one. Now again, the next one. So you have two of them. Just push one a little in. Little in. Oh, I think I pushed that too much. Let me see if I can force a little air and maybe push it out a little bit. Oh, I did too much. Okay. Let's put one piston back. Block the port on the other one. See if I can force that one piston out. Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's move this piston out. Let me just wipe my fingers. Might have overdone the silk light on this. There we go. So that's out. That's out. Okay, that one went in, but let me just try tapping. Oh, it's actually coming out. There you see? Because there's no seal. There we go. Let's use a sharp cloth. And that's that. All in all, about 10 minutes. As you can see, even though I did this a second time, these pistons are not easy to pull out. Removing those seals really help. I hope this video helps you. Again, there are probably better ways to do this using tools, fancy products, something that might scar the piston. I didn't use any of that. I just used some lubricant and compressed air. That's all it was.